Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to DeVos Fieldhouse for this MIAA women's action between the Alma Scots and the Hope College Flying Dutch. The Dutch hold the the second place mark in the MIAA after a loss to Calvin, only one loss in the conference. Alma recently came off of a 5-loss skid with the victory down at St. Mary's, so we'll see if they can continue to bounce back here against a tough Dutch squad here at home. Joining me today is Casey Rutledge, and Casey has a couple thoughts on the game today.
Yeah, Blaine, thanks for having me, and I'm excited to be back. Just something to look at. Hope and Alma are playing for the second time this season. The first time the Flying Dutch won at Alma 72-53. That was a December 6 meeting. They had behind a team-high 16-point performance out of both Maura McAfee, the forward, and the guard, Maddie Traversa. Alma's Tara Paget led the way with 21, led all scorers. She came off the bench, and she was actually the only player in double digits. Their starters combined for just 12 points, so she was definitely a spark plug off the bench, and that's a player that Hope College is going to have to look out for and really find a way to slow down.
Yeah, and we'll see if she works into the lineup more often. The Scots are led by Rihanna Zink, the junior forward, with 11.8 points per game, and Mallory Pruitt, the senior guard, also in double digits, averaging just over 10 points per game. And couple games started for Tara Paget. We'll see if she's out there. Morgan Henry also starts along with Grace Wheeler quite a bit for the Scots, and quite frankly, Hope has dominated the Scots lately, and that's the way it goes with most of the teams they play. They have the series lead led by 50-38, and they've beaten them 34 straight times. It's been since the 99-2000 season, so not a lot of luck for the Scots in this millennium so far, and we'll see if that continues with Hope. A tough squad this year. Maura McAfee, their stud, coming off a 26-16 game. It's going to be tough for Alma to slow them down. Obviously, Hope generally has the size advantage in most games. Even their guards are bigger than bigs for opponents sometimes, so we'll see how Alma manages to handle that behind the coaching of head coach Chris Johnson.
Yeah, and you mentioned Maura McAfee's 26-16 performance last game. The game before that, she went for 18-15, so she's really on a tear as of late. If you look at her conference statistics, she's averaging 19 points a game and just under 11 rebounds. So for her, in order to stay hot and demand the ball down low, when she goes, Hope College goes, and I think that she's as good as any center you're going to meet in the game.
Yeah, just an update on the men's side. Men are at Adrian today. They'll be tipping off at about the same time. We'll probably keep you guys updated occasionally on that score as well. Next game for the Lady Dutch is Saturday when they head to St. Mary's. The men play Trine on that Saturday, and we're just about a minute or so from getting underway here at DeVos Fieldhouse, and we'll see how Coach Morehouse and the Dutch are geared up and ready for an opponent. Sometimes it can be easy to overlook a team that's had a rough go so far, and it'll be interesting to see how Alma just really combats that size. That's going to be huge for them. See if they work around with guard play. They're going to have to hit some shots, to be honest, because down low it's tough to see a team like Alma being a dominating presence in the post with how much size that Hope has.
Yeah, for sure. If you look last game, Hope was able to force 28 Alma turnovers in transition. That led to 31 points off turnovers for Hope. And anytime you do that, you're not going to win many games. If you're Alma, you're already at a disadvantage. I think down low, like you said, taking care of the ball is something you can do. You're not going to win a lot of games turning the ball over 28 times. So I think for Alma, it's going to have to be slow the pace down and try to move smarter than they do fast.
Alma coming into this one 7-11 only overall, but only 2-7 in league play. It's been a rough go. St. Mary's, the only team behind them with a 1-8 mark, and we're just about ready to get up for our national anthem, so we will take a pause to observe that.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly
And with that, we should be just about ready to get going with starting lineups here. Hope College going to go with the usual starting lineup: Maura McAfee and Hannah Dole, the forwards, and Rebecca Lawrence at center. And in the backcourt, Brittany Berry and Autumn Anderson, the guards. Autumn Anderson playing point guard. She'll bring the ball up the floor. Starting for the Scots in the front court, the forwards, Grace Wheeler and Rihanna Zink, as well as Brianna Yurok, the center, Mallory Pruitt and Tara Paget. At guard, Tara Paget finding her way into the starting lineup. As you mentioned, had 21 points the last matchup against Hope, and obviously earning some playing time here. Pretty big step up for Paget, the sophomore guard. Yarok at forward, averaging about 12 minutes a game, getting the start today. Hasn't started the game yet this season, so that's an interesting stat there. Couple of new players working their way into that starting lineup. Alma coach just really trying to figure out a way to mix things up, perhaps against a tough squad. Really got to watch out for those guards. Pruitt and Wheeler averaging 10.2 and 8.2 points a game, respectively. Solid guard play all around for the Scots. They have 5 girls who average at least 7 points per game. But as Casey mentioned in their last matchup with Hope, the entire starting line only scored 12 points total. So it should be interesting, pretty tough to say how a game like this is going to go.
Alma College is coached by Chris Johnson. Hope College is coached by Ryan Morales.
Both teams out on the floor in their huddles with the cheerleading squad heading off, and the officials are now taking the floor. They await just the teams now to get underway here in this MIAA match. A lot on the line from every game for Hope here, with an 8-1 record in the league, chasing Calvin at 8-0. After that tough loss at home earlier, they've got to go take care of business at Calvin if they hope to get at least a share of the MIAA title. Both Hope and Calvin clearly the top 2 teams in the conference. The third place team, Kalamazoo, Olivet and Tryon, all with 5-4 records. No one else really coming close to the best offenses and defenses in the league. Getting ready for the tip here, Maura McAfee lining up as she usually does for the tip-off. Brianna Yurok right across from her. And with that, we're underway. The Dutch win the toss and quickly ahead for Lawrence with a wide open right-handed layup. Great way to start that game. Had that one ready.
Yeah, you can't draw it up much better off the tip. They win the tip, one pass, and all of a sudden it's 2-0.
Now up along the left wing here. Taken into the left side. They're trying to work it into the paint here. Some nice cutting from Alma. Now a jump shot from the elbow. That one is a little long. It would not go for Tara Paget. Hope quickly back the other way now. McAfee atop the key. Lauren's working hard inside. You can tell they're trying to get it to her there. A little bit of a size mismatch. A little confusion there. Defenders. Anderson takes it strong inside and draws the foul. She will go up for 2.
I'm not sure why McAfee didn't lob that ball over the middle. Lawrence had her girl sealed. She was actually the only person in the paint, but they swing the ball around, and Anderson gets a good look down low. She's going to go to the stripe.
And she's able to hit the first of 2. Can be so tough for a team to defend that great size, and when they feed the ball inside, like you mentioned, interesting to see them not trying to get that lob, because even without a finish, you're looking at a foul. Hope still able to get to the line. A nice job drawing contact there from Anderson. She made a very aggressive move, better than I've seen from her in the past few games. That ball tipped out of bounds, a little too long on the pass. Hope will take over.
It's one thing that we talked about just a second ago, Alma making sure to limit their turnovers.
Barry almost had it taken away. She has a nice bounce pass inside from McAfee, who can't finish the layup there. Defender got a hand up, but got to finish those ones right there at the basket. Backdoor cut there was not touched, the officials say, by Autumn Anderson, and Hope will take over again. That's a couple poor passes there. Alma trying to put together some offense. Some nice cuts, just a little bit off on the passes. It'll be interesting to see if they can start connecting a little bit better.
Alma hops into a 2-3 zone. Maybe to get a little mix up with the bigs down low.
Lawrence went up there, had the shot partially blocked perhaps. Good defense down low, and a nice steal here, and a breakaway opportunity for Paget, who's out with the right hand. She goes up strong and finishes. So there you go, Paget with the first points of the game for Alma, as we said, earning a starting spot, putting up a couple good games here, and there we go, first points for the Scots.
Well, you saw Alma on the first possession, they were in a man, and they've hopped immediately into a zone. I think that's going to be, as Barry launches a 3, I think that's going to be the at least immediate answer for them, is that allows them to double and even triple down low. They're going to make Hope beat them with shooting.
Yeah, you see that's a great strategy there. They're saying, you know, Hope's got a couple good three-point shooters, but their strength has been down in the post. They're going to say, if you're going to beat us, we're going to make you do it from downtown. Let's see if Hope can answer the call.
And that's not exactly how Hope won last time they played, December 6th. Hope shot just 26% from 3, making good of just 5 3-point attempts. And so Alma's going to give them the open look there as long as they can handle business down low.
Zink up at top in an uncomfortable position with the ball for a bit there. She finally does get it off to her teammate, Grace Wheeler. Shot clock coming down. She's trying to take it into the paint here. She'll go up with the right hand, and she is blocked. Rebounded quickly and blocked again was Pruitt. Nice defense there for Hope to fend off a couple Scots trying to get shots up in the paint. Hope swinging it around now, trying to work a hole in the zone, and Barry will launch, and that one is long and an air ball. You don't see that too often from the senior. Inside for Lawrence, who has it stripped. That zone's been pestering them. A good call to go to that, I would say. Paget's pass is tipped away and not touched by Anderson, and that one's going to go to Hope. That's another missed opportunity there for Alma. A couple bad passes leading to turnovers. Not the way you want to start this game. But luckily for Alma, their defense has been pretty tough so far. They've been very stingy, holding Hope to only 4 points. I don't think they've scored since they've been in that zone, though.
Yeah, 3 early turnovers for Alma, and it's already a factor of what if.
Dole takes it inside strong with the right hand, and she will finish to the baseline. A good move to blow by the defender on the pass there. She was quick and ready to go as soon as she caught that one. Wheeler now trying to work around a screen. We're going to get a little foul called here as she was driving on the floor. Looks like that'll be on Brittany Barry. Got a little push on the edge there.
Teams first.
Europe now working top the key. A nice pass inside for Zink, who goes up with the right hand, and she can't finish. Nice play there. They just couldn't get the ball in the bucket. Anderson all the way down the right side now. Avoids contact, puts it up on a tough angle there for the bank, and Hope out to an 8-2 early lead.
She had a chance there to dish right down the middle, but I really love what she did there. A mini pro hop to avoid the defender, and just a nice scoop shot right off glass. Excellent play by Alma Anderson.
Anderson keeping Pruitt in check right now. The guards are having trouble getting the ball inside. Zink now taking in with the left hand, excuse me, that was Europe. Now Zink with the ball, and she loses it. Anderson with the breakaway opportunity here. Pruitt catches up to her. Nice move to step inside, but she can't quite finish. Luckily, McAfee right there to take care of business. And a timeout right there from Coach Johnson. Alma not liking what started out so well in the zone, but the problem here and the X factor has been turnovers for the Scots. Hope's had a couple breakaway buckets, and including the play right off the tip, 6 of their 10 points off of breakaway layups there.
Yeah, you're not giving your defense much of a chance, obviously, as Hope. You've seen them get on the break, and again, what we said earlier, 31 points off turnovers last time they played. The funny thing is it was 31 points off turnovers, 0 of them in the fast break, so Hope has already beat that margin. But it's just, you're not giving your offense a good look, you're not giving your defense a good chance, and you're going to find yourself in a hole early, and that's what it is with 15:43 to go. Hope with an 8-point lead, and they haven't had to do anything, really. I mean, you saw down there, Anderson missed the layup, but it was an easy rebound. Because of that turnover, Hope was able to get out and run, and McAfee an easy rebound and a bucket.
Yeah, like we mentioned, 6 points on the breakaway. 4 points came at the beginning of the game. Hope was still in man for both of those buckets, I believe. This zone has really been shutting them down, and see if Coach Morehouse has a little bit of a strategy change here. Maybe try and work the ball into the middle, a little higher up in the post, to try and suck that zone in, maybe kick out to some open shooters. And so far, they haven't been shooting well from outside to start this game. Granted, they've only taken a couple 3-point tries, but haven't looked good on those tries so far. Pruitt's going to try and set up her offense here. Nice takeaway there. And another turnover as Sudbury was able to get in and take that one away.
For Hope, it's going to be Gears, Sudbury, Traversa in off the bench, their first minutes of the game.
Sudbury from the elbow knocks that one down. That's a pretty looking shot. Nothing but net on that one.
Sudbury's been very good as of late when she finds her game and doesn't try to do too much. Last time we were calling a game, last home game, she tried to extend her jump shot a little bit and shoot from three. Not that she's a bad shooter, it's just not the shot you want to see her take. That one 15 and in is really her bread and butter.
Yeah, Sudbury, a good role player, a good guard. She has some experience off the bench. Hope really does run a lot deeper than some teams, which helps. As you see, Alma is still running out same 5 players. They didn't make any subs there. They certainly don't go quite as deep, and that can hurt teams a lot of times towards the end of a game. Nice defense there from Traversa, but she will be called with a foul. Got a little bit of body there on the way in. Good call there.
Wayne, you talked a little bit before the game when we were checking out some scouting report, the importance of what Angelique Gaddy could have brought to this team. She suffered an ACL tear for the 2nd straight year, and that's opened the door for Automatic. She's been doing a fantastic job, but you said, looking at this team, they're kind of that one player, that Angelique Gaddy, away from really, really having a great shot at a title run. Not that they're out of it now, but you hate to see that happen, and you hope that this team can find a sort of cohesion in order to propel them forward and make a good run at it.
Yeah, I think when this team gets together, when it's all said and done, they're a top 10 team in the country as it is. Their strength has been their play of their bigs down under the basket. Their guard play has been solid, but I truly believe that Gaddy is one of those elite players that could put them over the edge. Traversa launches from 3. She's been so good from there this year. Couldn't hit on that one, but a nice offensive rebound from Gears. But just after that, a 3-second call on Klauka. Just recently checked into the game after that last break.
Klauka, the senior from, I really like her style of play. Last week we came in she came in off the bench and she did some really excellent things, whether it's setting good screens, getting big rebounds, or a lot of second chance points with her way as Sudbury finds a way to turn over Alma yet again. But she knows her role in this team, and she knows that maybe she isn't in the starting lineup, but she fights like a dog to get in that starting lineup week in and week out. She brings excellent energy and great size off of the bench.
Yeah, let's talk about Kamara Sudbury. I mean, into the game so far, she comes in, hits a nice jumper from the elbow. Stroke looked good, but 2 turnovers over there on that wing so far. She's really locking things down defensively.
What I think that's important for Hope's wings to do is if you look at this Alma statistically, they do turn the ball over. So I think as guards defensively, you have to bring as much pressure on their ball handlers as you can, knowing that they're somewhat mistake prone as Traversa gets a bucket off the inbound pass. But they are, like I said, a little bit mistake prone, and if you can set your offense or your defense around that, pressure the ball, create some havoc, I think that's going to create headaches for Alma all day long.
Nice basket there. Basket as Pruitt comes in and gets that one in the lane. You mentioned turnovers, and listen to this stat right here. Coming off an 11-point win at St. Mary's, they had 31 turnovers as a team. 31, and to come up with an 11-point win after losing 5 straight. It'll be interesting to see that matchup on Saturday that Hope at St. Mary's has. A nice dish inside there. The layup missed right there as Yoroke went up. She couldn't finish. But as I mentioned, Hope going to St. Mary's on Saturday, and I hate to say it, but that one could be a little bit of a bloodbath if there's ever going to be one. 31 turnovers and lose by 11. Not too good.
Well, a lot of times you're going to see inflated turnovers with some teams who run up-tempo offenses. Calvin loves to push the ball. When Hope met with them, both teams had 20-plus turnovers. That's somewhat out of character for Hope, but when you're running that up-tempo offense, you're going to have a lot more possessions, and a lot of them ending, when you're taking risks and you're playing fast break and you're playing up-tempo like that, you're going to turn the ball over here and there. It's a risk that you have to be willing to take if you're going to sling the ball around. And so I can't necessarily speak for Alma as it doesn't look like they're running too much of a fast break offense here, but it's just taking time, and as a 2-point bucket's good by Wheeler. It's just about taking time and being conscious of what you're doing, not getting too riled up when you get the ball. Some of these wings look a little nervous out there.
And a nice move there from Wheeler. She got a defender up in the air. Nice and patient. Sudbury from 3 doesn't get that one to go. And that one's rebounded by Wheeler. And as I mentioned, Wheeler was patient, got a defender up in the air, able to get to the bucket for a nice floater, cutting the lead to 6. Alma hanging around right now.
Well, that's the thing, Blaine. Alma, when they're not turning the ball over, they're scoring.
Right there on cue. That one was just handed right away to Traversa. I mean, she didn't have to work for that one, right in her hands. Alma's really got to pick that one up if they hope to stand a chance in this one. If they keep turning the ball over, Hope starts knocking down a few more of these shots, this game will be over. Gears now had a little trouble handing on the wing, but she recovers. Bullet pass inside for Traversa. She can't finish, and a charge is going to be called on Traversa as she was going hard to the bucket there. Morgan Henry, who recently subbed in the game, picked up that charge. That's Traversa's second foul. Wouldn't be surprised to see her come out of the game. We actually do have a few subs here as McAfee comes into the game for the Dutch, as well as Tyra Smith. Hannah Dole back in, and Lawrence.
Blaine, you talked about Hope's size. You look at that instance a play ago. You have Maura McAfee and Rebecca Lawrence on the bench. That's a 6'1" and a 6' forward/center. And you bring in someone like Klocka off the bench at 6'1". When she's not in, most of the time it's Hannah Dole, who's also 6'1". And then you have a guard, a shooter, and Mandy Traversa. She's 6'2". So this size goes forever for Hope.
Yeah, most MIAA teams would kill to have just one of these girls. It's amazing the kind of talent they draw in. As another turnover there for the Scots. Morgan Henry couldn't quite handle that pass. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I think we see regularly when it comes to women's sports, women's basketball in particular, I can think the talent pool isn't quite as deep. Generally, there's a lot more interest with the men, and you see a lot of talented players for all the MIAA schools, and Hope's just got all this size, and you just wonder, I mean, Alma's just probably sitting down there going, man, I wish we could have gotten 1 or 2 of those girls. They'd be getting a lot of playing time for our squad.
Well, even talk about it, I mean, our men's team is not, real big. A couple of guys at 6'4" and a guy at 6'8" in Benson. They wouldn't mind some of this size, I don't think, either.
Yeah, seriously.
Let's see if Alma can put something together here. They're, again, down just 6 at nearly the halfway point in the half.
I'll tell you what, I'm seeing them work a lot of nice cuts. They're going backdoor and almost really trying to get some good bounce passes in. Great ideas, but Hope's defense is there. I mean, I think they're just trying to force it a little bit too much. Just because it might be there doesn't mean you have to go to it. I think they just need to be a little more patient, maybe go to a second option. They got some nice offense running, but they're just forcing a little bit too much right now. Only 3 seconds on the shot clock here as Morgan Henry will inbound this basketball. They're going to have to get off a quick shot here. Steal right off the bat there, another turnover.
Anderson a little late on that pass to Dole. Dole is streaking down the sidelines wide open. If Anderson would have brought her head up, I think that would have resulted in another fast break layup opportunity for Hope, but
worked inside, nice seal there. Up with the right hand, but that one is blocked away. We'll stay with Alma. Great positioning there from Rihanna Zink, the junior, one of the leading scorers for the Scots this year. Had a nice position, but good help side there from McAfee to prevent an easy bucket. Barry checking into the game now for the Dutch. Inside for Pruitt. Nice move to get Fender in the air, but McAfee didn't really matter there. She was planted on the ground, put a hand up, and still able to block that one out of bounds. Henry now with 14 on the shot clock. Quick inbound and an open shot there. Nice little bank from Emily Hinsman, the freshman, getting a little bit of playing time here, and nice play there to get open, and she finished. Nice job defensively from Morgan Seberg, the sophomore, able to keep Lawrence out of the deep position in the paint down there. You're seeing some good work from this zone here for the Scots. Lawrence does get inside and a lot of contact, but no foul called. This one last touch by the Dutch, and we'll go to the Scots.
Hope racking up turnovers as well. That's their 7th. And like we said, Alma not getting a ton of clean looks at the basket. You look up at the scoreboard and halfway through, it's just a 4-point game. So I think a good fight by Alma. That defense is standing in there. Aside from the height differential, I would love to see them put a string of 4, 5, 6 good possessions in a row. And I'd love to see where this game can go for them.
Defensive 5-second call there. That was a great play causing yet another turnover here. And it's like you mentioned, basketball is just such a streaky game, and when teams keep turning the ball over, you just can't get any momentum. I mean, you get that shot to fall 2, 3, 4 times in a row, suddenly everyone's confident out there. It feels like they can't miss, and you just can't get that going when you got a bucket, turnover, bucket, bucket, turnover, turnover. And that's really what's hurting both these teams right now. Hope up by 4 points. Almost got 4 more turnovers, so moral of the story, don't turn the ball over, take care of it. You might not get a bucket every time.
Alma back, gets away from that 2-3 zone. They're back into a man.
Barry with a no-look pass in for Lawrence, and she puts it off the back of the iron. Gets a nice little roll there, able to get the finish. Finally a bucket there for Hope. Pruitt taken inside with the left. Nice bounce pass inside. Hope just swarming defensively, though, and there's that size. I mean, you talk about it, they can help, and Hope's got 4 players on the floor right now that I would bet are taller than anybody on Alma's squad, and you see that a lot. And it's just so hard when you get inside. When you got a help side that might normally be a guard that's shorter than you, next girl up is 6 feet tall.
Wheeler did a fine job on that last possession of getting open, being ready to shoot. She decided to take that ball and take 2 dribbles and get into the paint. A lot of times you're going to like that look. I don't like that now, again, where you said, I was a long 3 is launched. I don't like that look by her. I think she's good enough from 8 feet to be able to use off glass there or a short corner jumper. The minute she put the ball on the ground, she was looking at 2 or 3 defenders in the way. You have to understand kind of the flow of the offense and percentage of your shot there. She was much better off shooting that 8-footer, I think.
And Pruitt just kind of chucked a 3-point basket up from the wing. Luckily for her, Emily Hinsman able to come up with the rebound, but thrown away as soon as I mentioned her name. Dole now out on the wing, working the ball around. Lawrence is going to try and drive with the left hand, but she's fouled on the floor right away. That one's going against Zink, her first foul of the game. Both teams doing all right in the foul category. Hope with 5 and Alma with only 3. Near takeaway there, but Hope able to recover. Barry from the corner on the near side finally gets that 3 ball to go. Barry's on the board with 3 points now. Hope only 1 of 7 from beyond the arc. Big part of the reason that Alma's still in it. Like I mentioned, with all the turnovers, if Hope can start to get their shooting going, it could be a long day for Alma.
That's what we noticed. Brittany Barry 2 years ago led the nation in 3-point percentage, and last year did a great job as well from 3. This year she's been a little off as Anderson dribbles out of bounds, and it's going to be Alma ball. But I'm kind of waiting for that moment for Barry, that moment where she buries 6, 7, 8 threes in a game. We've seen her do it before, and I think that's what's going to bring Hope to new heights. They can get so far with their performance that they're playing, or that everybody else is playing right now, but Barry is that X factor for Hope.
Nice cut to the basket there for Hinsman. And she made a cut and a great pass inside. She's got 4 now, and we got another foul right here. Hope's going to take this one from underneath their own basket. That foul is going to be on Grace Wheeler. That's her 2nd foul today. Pun intended when you said Brittany Barry was going to bury several threes.
I did.
There.
I like throwing that around a little bit. I'm going to see what I can do with getting that slogan on t-shirts.
That one was too good to be an accident. Yeah. Nice pass inside for McAfee. Great play there. You got to love the way that Coach Morehouse has these girls ready, and I've mentioned it before. They come out of their set plays. They always seem ready to go. They get some open buckets down underneath way too often.
Morehouse does a great job out of timeouts and in transition like that. I mean, he's been coaching here for 19 years, and it feels like, 59 with just the success that Hope has had. That's not a shout out to his age or anything, but I think that, he's really has a powerhouse in Hope here year in and year out.
Anderson works it onto the wing. I like the way she dribbles right at the wing there, which opens it up for other wing players to cut back to where she was. Missing the short layup from the paint there, now coming back quickly. Scots don't have the numbers.
Gotta hang on.
She's got to pull that one back. She's got 3 against 1 there. Tara Padgett just tried going to the bucket, and that's an experience right there. It's like another stoppage in play here. As Padgett's limping a little bit. The sophomore showed some impressive numbers scoring, like we mentioned, but right there, you just got to pull back. You got to know when you got it. You got to know when you don't. Right there, she did not have it. Not only did she not get a bucket, but she got a turnover. Looks like she might be hurt here. And we've got a media timeout now. Chance for both squads to get a break. Hope with a 9-point lead, 23 2-14 the score, and like we mentioned, Hope's size before the game can be such an advantage at so many times, and so far it's shown a little bit offensively, but also from what I've seen, something we didn't mention is how defensively all of those big players can make such an impact on the game.
Yeah, and that's where Coach Johnson in the huddle right here, I think that's one thing that she has to mention is obviously if you can get close to the basket, you feel like that's a good look. Not today, not right now. You have too much size, too much length down low for Hope, and you've seen, as a result, a few blocked shots. I think that the better option is being able to stretch the defense, getting into the short corner, getting free throw line extended, and we've seen a few shots fall for Alma from there. I think that that's going to be, I mean, at least if you can get a few more shots up from there and make a few shots, you're going to keep your defender far more honest, see them stretch, that's going to open up the middle.
And at the horn, referees trying to break up those huddles so we can get started here. Flying Dutchmen hold a 16-2 overall record, 8-1, splitting that right down the middle in conference play. Very symmetrical record there. As we mentioned, going to be important to see that game against Calvin. And just like on the men's side, both teams just sitting a game or two back there, but neither out of it. Should be an interesting race on both the men's and women's side. Coming down to Hope and Calvin as usual. Barry taking it with the right hand. Faked the pass outside, didn't really fake anyone out. Tried scooping one off the glass, didn't get it to go, but she draws the foul and will go to the line to shoot two. Very known for her flashy play. The senior has a lot of experience, and her key, besides the big shooting, a lot of times we see that no-look pass for her. Can get her in trouble from time to time, but if anybody can do it, it's definitely her. Knocks down the first free throw, extends the lead to 10 points for the Dutch. That is tied for their biggest lead of the game. About 9 minutes ago, they had that same lead. She can't hit it on the second, splits the pair. 10 points still the lead, about 6.5 to go here. McAfee, nice defensive effort, wasn't quite there on time, and like we said, next girl up. A lot of length to get over top of.
Brianna Zink did kind of what I thought she needed to do there. She stopped early to try and get a shot up before she got into the paint. As a result, she was still blocked. So, I mean, maybe I know a little bit less than I thought I did, Blaine.
Well, no, I agree. She did exactly what she needed to do. It's just didn't pull up as quickly as you would think she would have to. Hope's just got that much size. You get by and you can still get blocked sometimes. Nice move there and a drive from Brianna Europe to get inside to the basket, but she just completely whiffed on that layup attempt. Gears out in the corner, swings in an open shot for Barry from the top of the key, and that one is off to the right. A bit of a slow start for Barry so far today and the entire Dutchman team from the three-point line. Barry does have their only make, but she is only 1 for 4 from outside of the arc. That one out of bounds again. Alma still just struggling to keep consistency offensively. That's really hurting them so far. With only 14 points, only 5:43 left in this first half.
Good cut there by McAfee, right down the middle.
Just couldn't quite get that one to finish. Now Alma looking to push back. Blocked again, and have to check the numbers on the blocks there. They've really just dominated defensively. Alma just doesn't know what to do. A nice pass inside from Sudbury to find an open McAfee under the basket. That was a pretty play right there. Very Barry-esque, if you will.
I don't mean to sound redundant here with trying to coach up the Scots from here, but I think I talked earlier about high percentage looks, and that's a thing where, okay, now you've experimented from the short corner, trying to pull the defender out. Oh my, as Dole goes down hard, they're going to give her a block call. It's McAfee rather, and so Alma is doing kind of what we expected them to do. They're trying to stretch the defense, trying to shoot from the short corner, but because you're in that position does not mean just kind of look for the shot, as we've seen 3 straight times where they've been blocked from there as well. A pump fake here, a pump fake there. That also allows from the opposite wing maybe a backdoor cut. So I think, again, it's a type of carelessness with the ball that Alma is going through right now, and I think it's very fixable from here. Good
nice
look.
pass inside there, and Zink is able to finish. That's what they need to do. Like I said, they've had some good basket cuts. Just getting a little bit too aggressive at times. If it's not there, it's not there, but that time it was in an open layup. As you mentioned, it's tough to try and coach a team up and see what they've got to do, and sometimes it just might come down to the fact that Hope's a more talented team. Nice basket there from the corner. That one was Klauka, sending the lead to 12 points. There again, as I mentioned, a lucky bounce to keep the ball with the Scots as the shot goes up. There from Morgan Seabrook, she couldn't finish. That one's going to stay here. A foul. Looks like they might get Lawrence here underneath the basket, and they will. Once again, trying to sneak a bounce pass in, but it just wasn't there. Just because the play's drawn up and it looks good from the start doesn't mean it's going to be there. When you see the Hope defender cut back properly, get in the passing lane, you can't still try and force that pass.
Entering the lineup for the Flying Dutch, number 25, Maddie Traversa.
Traversa into the game now. Lawrence is going to take a seat on the bench as she picked up the foul. First shot left short. She can't get that one to go. Looks like we're going to have a lane violation here, perhaps, on Traversa, so that one won't count. She'll get another go here for the front half of the 1-and-1. That one is good. Second one from Zink is down. We would have had another lane violation there as Klocka stepped in a bit early. Scott's able to knock down two after a little help from the Dutch to cut the lead back to 10 points.
And that rule changed not too long ago. It was you couldn't crash the lane until the ball hit the rim. Now it's on the release. So
nice pass inside. Klocka with the bucket. Hope just starting to finally dominate down near the post, though. They're working inside. They're getting the shots that they want. Zink working along the right side, gets past Traversa, but can't finish again. Alma had a lot of trouble finishing so far today. Smith all the way across the court for Barry. She's going to launch from way downtown, and that one's a little bit short. Offensive rebound from Klauka, and we're going to have a foul called here, I believe. This one will go on Pruitt. Barry caught the ball about 5 or 6 feet behind the arc there. And defender said, "You won't take it from out there." She rose to the challenge, but couldn't hit. A little bit short. If she was in normal spot for a three, maybe that one would have gone in.
you can see Morehouse on the sideline, sort of upset with that shot. We know that Barry has the range as Hope almost turns it over, gets it back to Barry, but I think it's a little early in the shot clock for that shot, and could have got a better look for sure.
Foul here. That one's going to go against Klauka. That's her first foul of the game. We're going to have a substitution here as Nicole Green, the sophomore, comes into the game for the Scots. Zink going to go to the line here as the Scots are in the bonus. Alma with only 6 fouls, so their next foul, Hope will be going to the line as well as Zink hits the first free throw. She's done well from the line so far today, 3 of 3, and on this second one stays perfect so far on the day. Once again, cutting the lead to 10 points for Hope. Sudbury working the offense right now.
If you're Alma, you really have to use that to your advantage. Down 10 and not getting a ton of efficiency out of your offense. Now you're getting to the line every time you get fouled. If Alma can find a way to continue to drive, to draw contact, it's a new ball game.
Smith not able to connect on the three-point attempt and rebounded by Emily Hinsman. She will bring it up the floor herself. One of the great things that Smith brings to the ball game is just defensive pressure.
I mean, look at her; she's all over the place.
All the way, not even waiting for Hinsman to make it to the three-point line. She's out there no matter where you are. Lob pass attempted again, just not able to connect, and can't even count how many times we've seen Alma just miss on a pass looking to get inside there.
Well, that's kind of your football coverage sack right there. Smith was all over the ball handler, and you can tell she just wanted the ball out of her hand. She wanted Smith out of her hair and kind of threw that ball up, not so much on the receiver, but more on the passer for sure.
Barry inside, a great dish there for McAfee. She just waited for that lane to open up. I mean, timing route, little crossing route, waited to get by the linebackers. Another football reference for you, but that was a great play there.
That's okay. Super Bowl right around the corner. We can talk a lot about that after.
Second most important game for you and I would have to imagine, on Sunday, to be honest, as we'll see the Wolverines and Spartans kick off. And a nice basket there as Tara Padgett gets on the board again. And Not sure what the call is down here. Are we going to have a foul or some sort of violation on the inbound here, as Alma will take care of things underneath the basket. Nice drive inside, but not able to finish again. There was Seaberg. Hope pushing now. Sudbury on the wing. I want to see Sudbury keep that dribble going and drive right at the wing. It can bring Smith around and open up space. That 3 ball is halfway down and out. Another try here. Barry's going to take this one again. She knocks that one down. She almost looks a little frustrated, like she was just saying, you know what, I'm going to keep shooting until I knock one down. And when you're as good of a shooter as she is, sometimes you have to do that.
And you could see that look in her eyes. Even when she made it, it was a look of about time, because you know, I know, and the rest of Hope College knows she's a much better shooter than what she's been displaying here. But, I mean, you're going to have that streakiness. You're going to have that little bit of a slump. And one of my coaches used to tell me, you got to, if you're hot, shoot it. If you're not, shoot it till you get hot.
Yeah, shooter's going to shoot, I believe, is the saying. And when you're cold-blooded sometimes like that, you look at the Kobe's, the LeBrons of the world. I mean, those guys might have off nights, but when you want the ball in someone's hands, they're still going to get it. So, you know, players like that, like Barry, are just going to keep shooting and bounce back. And when you have that much talent, you can't be in a slump for that long. 13 points the lead for the Dutch with a minute and a half, and inbounded to Anderson. Looks like Morehouse has been able to even draw up plays for Alma in their huddle. That one was passed directly to Anderson. McAfee with the breakaway, another easy layup. She now has 10, first player in the double digits here.
That's on Smith again. All sorts of ball pressure. Alma bobbles, fumbles, and gets the ball to Anderson.
Flocka passes up a 3. Try Brittany Berry from deep. She's starting to heat up. Look out, Alma, because if she's burying 3s now, already up by 18 points. They've really busted this thing open in the last couple minutes. This thing was 4 or 6 for a while. Yeah. They were hanging around 10, keeping around, and just like that, man, they hit a couple of those 3 balls. And like I mentioned, Hope gets shooting, Alma's in trouble.
Well, that's what I was saying. I like to see where Brittany's going with this game. Zink. A long 2, no good. I love to see where Brittany's head's at. The only thing that might stop her right now may be halftime.
Anderson, a nice drive again. She is able to draw the foul to go to the line. That's a couple times I've seen her make that nice little almost Euro step type move to get inside. One of the best ways to get by a defender who's got all their momentum moving, just to get inside of them. And second foul there as Tara Paget commits hers second of the game. Anderson not able to knock down the first from the line. It looks like Alma's going to have about enough time to take the clock down for one last shot, but the kind of pressure that Smith and the rest of the Dutch have been putting on him, wouldn't be surprised to see another turnover. As we mentioned, Alma with 31 turnovers in their last win. Hardy with 19 in the first half, outpacing that number. If Hope can come up with a turnover here, I think that's probably the first time I've ever seen 20 turnovers in one half.
Hope switching it up here in a bit of a 2-3 zone, again using that length to their advantage. Length and speed too. It's important when you can have speed up on the top of that zone, as they do.
Once again, Alma just struggling to finish down underneath the basket as Brianna Europe gets down there. And you got your big forward, your 5'11" girl down there underneath the basket. You want to see her finish a lot of those, but a good defense and recovery there from Klauka as well. Alma going to be able to get the last shot here. Zink is packed by McAfee. No chance down low. She swatted that thing with her elbow. Passed ahead, not a very smart pass for Smith. Hope had a chance to get a bucket going into the half, but instead Alma with the takeaway here. And story of this first half has got to be turnovers. 19 for Alma and 12 for Hope. Not the prettiest half, but Hope starting to heat up now, shooting 50% from the field. Alma only shooting 26.7. That's a big part of the difference here, with both teams turning over the ball quite a bit. Now that Hope's heating up, they've been able to pull away a little bit in this first half.
I don't know if you saw it, if you caught the end of that last possession. Barry came up a little limp, and I couldn't tell it. It almost looked like it was her hand. I don't know. She was walking gingerly. I don't know if it had anything to do with her lower half, but she was shaking her hand out and limping a little bit. She was the first one into the locker room. Again, a lead of 18. You know, in the depth of Hope College, but it's about more than just this game. You really hope that there's nothing too serious with that. As she she scooted right to the locker room, maybe to the training room even, and so we'll keep an update there. But yeah, I mean, we're going to go into the half, Hope up 18, and I think the stat sheet, at least from here, speaks a lot of it. Alma with 7 more turnovers than Hope. Hope limiting Alma to 26% from the field, combined with them shooting 50% on their own. It's rough. I mean, but it's early. We have an entire half left to play. Nothing's over yet. You hope that Alma can come in back into the half, figure some things out, figure out some assignments, adjust a little bit, and come out competitive and feisty.
Yeah, we mentioned Hope having such a size advantage. You expect Alma to shoot from the outside to try and combat that, and we've only seen 2 3-point tries from them. Alma, not a team that scores a lot of three-pointers. That's the problem for them right now, as nobody on their team averages more than about a 3 a game. So we're going to see how they try and adjust to that at halftime, see how Coach Johnson and Coach Morehouse get their teams ready for the second half. We're going to take a little bit of a break here for halftime. We'll be back for second half action in a little bit. All right, we're just about ready to get underway here for some second half action. Blaine Wiersbicki alongside Casey Rutledge. Hope with a 40-22 lead over Alma, about 2 minutes or so away from starting this second half. Hope finally starting to heat up shooting a little bit, and that's what finally got them away from that sort of 10-point edge with the lead, now up 18, and it's kind of been the difference with the size advantage already. Like I mentioned, if they can get hot shooting, there's just not a lot Alma can do defensively.
Yeah, if you look at something that sticks out to me on the stat sheet, it's the assists. Hope has made good on 17 field goals. 13 of those have been assisted. So you're not seeing much isolation. I mean, you're not seeing, even on the fast break, Hope's able to find a way to give the ball up. And so I think that speaks a lot to your patience in the offense. And so, I mean, they've gone all but 4 buckets have been assisted. And I mean, you don't have to create much on your own at that point. I know, I mean, specifically, speaking from experience, it's just way harder to do things on your own or try and create your own shot when you have a couple of screens, a couple backdoor cuts, and just good offensive movement. The game comes much more naturally. As a result, you're scoring a lot more frequently and shooting a better percentage. Because of those open looks, because of that offensive movement and those assists, you look at 50% field goal percentage, you're not scratching your head wondering why.
Yep, one of the leaders this season, Laura McAfee, had another big first half, 10 points and 5 rebounds, on track for another double-double, another 20 and 10 double-double. Barry with 10 points as well, along with 4 assists, having a typical game for her, hitting a couple threes and a couple nice passes inside for her teammates. A pretty typical game, really, for the Dutch. High-scoring half. At first, it was a low-scoring game overall, and when you hit a couple 3 balls, that just really changes sort of the architecture of this game. And on track for 80 points here, not a score you see too often in the women's game. And starting lineup for the Dutch will be the same as the beginning of the game. They're ready to go. A couple words right out there on the floor from Coach Brian Morehouse, just waiting for Alma to take the court as well. On the other side for Alma, their leading scorer of the first half was Rihanna Zink. The experienced forward only went 1 of 8 from the field, and kind of shows you the half they had when she leads the team with 6 points. She was able to go 4 for 4 from the free throw line. It's going to be key for them to be able to use their bodies properly to draw contact and get to the foul line and maybe try and get some of their points there, because when they don't have the advantage down low and they maybe don't have the 3-point shooters, maybe that can be the spark they need to start hitting some free throws to get some buckets. And they've been going down there getting blocked quite a bit from Hope. Not much they can do, but we'll just see if they can work Hope into some awkward defensive positions, maybe draw a few more fouls this half. Right away, going inside, like I said, to Zink, but she's not able to finish. Hope just so tall, so much length to get over top. Barry to McAfee, who was hustling out front there, and an easy layup to start the half. Just out-hustled as she beat everybody down the floor. She wasn't the first one off, but she was the first one to get to the bucket.
And an easy layup off of an assist, and that's what we talked about, having the understanding that, playing the numbers here. Barry, a 2-on-1 fast break, no selfishness. She gets the ball down low.
Inside for Zink. Hope staying strong again defensively. They're going to get a foul called here as they finally go up, and right there, that's the formula. I think might be their best chance at this point as McAfee gets the foul there. That's her second. Zink going to the line again, 4 for 4 in the first half, and just got to keep working inside and trying to get some free throws as she misses her first try of the game. She's 4 of 5 now. See if Coach Morehouse maybe thinks about working a sub in for McAfee as she picks up a quick second foul. Lauren's also with 2, but you're not too worried about Hope in their bigs when it comes to fouls, when they've got about 4 or 5 girls that you can just throw in there and still have that big size advantage for the Dutch. Lobbed inside for Lawrence, and she goes up and gets it. I mentioned that earlier, you're surprised they weren't going to that more, and right there, about as well as you can cover it, but just really no chances. She just holds that one away, goes straight up to the bucket with it. Lawrence has 8 points. Now Lawrence and McAfee combining for 20 already.
Yeah, you can see the defender with the full front there still wasn't able to get in the way of Lawrence on the finish.
McAfee with a nice rebound, and Anderson pushing right away. Dole with an open jump shot from the wing, but that one just didn't look right as soon as it left her hand, but offensive rebound there. Nice job from Anderson to work, and Lawrence inside for another chance. Can't get that one to go. Nice rebound there from Tara Paget, and a foul. Pretty unnecessary foul there, I would say. Really, when you've lost, you've lost. They got a couple shot attempts. Get back and play some defense.
Clark is going to come in for Lawrence, and right there, she got a cheapie. Gonna have to get to the bench, think about what she did.
And like I said, one of your star bigs has to go out. Klauka rolls into the game, and Klauka's got some size herself. Going to be tough to defend. She scored a couple times in this game. Out to the wing here. Badger thought about another turnover here. McAfee says thank you very much. Anderson trying to set her offense up right away. She's going to be picked up at half by Pruitt. Trying to put a little pressure, and it almost worked. Anderson almost lost it there. Open look at the top of the key for Klauka. That one long. McAfee working hard to tip that one out, and Barry able to come up with a great effort shown by McAfee. Barry leaves that one short. Another offensive rebound. Almost got to find a body on somebody. Hope's just going to have their way. Anderson with a nice drive inside, called with a charge there. Anderson able to get into the bucket there, but she'll pick up her first foul of the game. She's had a couple nice drives that have led to her 4 points so far. Just great positioning there defensively. Alma really has to do their best to help out to keep the Dutch size away from the bucket and their speed as well, as Anderson took that one to the rack. Open look here for Padgett out on the wing, but she let that one go. Pruitt instead from the baseline. Can't find it. Going up again, and a nice finish there. She was able to get by McAfee and put that one up nicely with the left hand. It's kind of been a track meet for a little bit of this half. Anderson not able to finish. Klauka with the rebound. Also can't get it to go. That one last off. Hope will go to the Scots.
We spent the better half, or the better part of this broadcast talking about Hope's size. Riddle me this. I mean, you look at the stat sheet, and Hope's being out-rebounded by 3. And that's one thing that we've talked about. It appears that game in and game out, Hope does lose the rebounding battle. And I mean, they find different ways to impact it with turning teams over, limiting field goal percentage. I mean, Hope's shooting 50% here. As Alma launches a 3 from Padgett, that's going to be good. But hear me out just for a second. So Hope shooting 50%. I mean, that results in Alma not having to rebound many chances. Half of the time the ball is going in. So Hope has a vast advantage with opportunities to rebound, but aren't finding a way to do that. And I think that's something that when you're critiquing and finely tuning your team, come down the stretch, come MIAA tournament, Dole, the layup is good. The MIAA tournament, the national tournament, you have to find ways to use your size to dominate every facet of the game. That will catch up to them as they need to find a way to be a better, more disciplined rebounding team.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it much better myself. We really talked about that in the last broadcast. Nice save there. Grace Wheeler going into the stands, and Anderson out ahead with an easy layup here on the breakaway. But as you mentioned, they're able to get away with it sometimes. We haven't noticed the huge rebound advantage. I didn't tell you, just pointed out, when you're up by 20 points, you don't think about it. But in the last game, we had a similar sort of thing, but the game was a lot closer, and we said, what's going on here? They're losing the rebounding to a team they have a clear size advantage over. And the effort's there most of the time. And you know Morehouse is a good coach, so it's just dumbfounding that they're not finding a body to box out. As Coach Morehouse takes a timeout, a little trap in the backcourt there. And you just wonder why it is that they get out-rebounded so much. Coach Morehouse is going to find a way, I'm sure, because if you run into those tough teams, you know, that MIAA tournament comes around, or even the regular season matchup against Calvin, if they hope to win, they need to out-rebound Calvin. It's as simple as that. No doubt in my mind that Hope's as talented as anyone in the country when it comes to the women's game at the Division III level. You look at these games, they could dominate by 20 points. Can you imagine if they flipped the switch and out-rebounded the other team by 10 points, they could win by 35 points.
Right. High ceiling for Hope. There's a lot of things that, a lot of room for improvement. That's never a bad thing. It's just, you got to get after it. And they do other things very well. On the defensive end, offensive end as well. And it's just things to strive for. So we'll see as Alma can put a little bit of pressure here maybe in the backcourt, but it's going to be still that man-to-man defense.
McAfee taking things to the top of the key, lobs that one all the way in. Barry with another no-look pass, and that's just, you'd be amazed by that, but then you just realize it's Brittany Barry, and it's just another day at the office as she finds McAfee again inside. But it's still just dazzling to see that kind of play. You're so impressed day in and day out when we watch her play. That shot comes up short, clock with a rebound. You see her doing things that you watch the men's games and you say, I can't even make my point without her doing it again. Unbelievable. Another no-look pass from McAfee, back-to-back like that. You'll do things, and I say it sometimes, stick Barry out there in the men's game, see what she does every once in a while. That passing ability, that shooting ability, I have no doubt that she could at least compete a little bit. That air ball there from Seaberg really wasn't even close. Hope starting to pull away. This game beginning to get ugly. If Hope knocks down a few more shots here, I have to imagine Coach Johnson's going to need a timeout for her girls. Pop-up foul
let's
going
just go back there just for 1 second. We're sitting up here, 40 rows from the top, and I mean I can see the whole court. And talk about players being 2 and 3 steps ahead of a play. That was 4 or 5 steps ahead of the play. I'm here with a perfect bird's eye view. I never saw that pass coming. I don't know where she saw it from. Instinct takes over. It just makes the game a lot of fun to play, a lot of fun to cover.
Just so much experience in her play you can see as well, and improved so much over the years. And you look out there, and like you said, she's so far ahead of the play, and you wonder how many times she's seen that play before. Maybe that has, sort of a factor in there. As Clock is able to hit the second free throw from the line, she splits the pair. Hope now with a commanding lead, 25 points is their lead. About ready to double up Alma if they can't come up with a few buckets here. Pressure here in the man is really just stifling Alma's offense. Pruitt now being forced to take it inside. Nice crossover, good help side defense, and Hope takes it away again. And really, it's just hard to see where the points can come from Alma at this point. Hope's defense has been suffocating. Vaca inside and never quite got the control on that one. She was going full speed, couldn't quite pull up, and that one a little long off the glass. Paget swings it all the way across, and drive is pulled back out here. Paget going to take it from the top of the key, and she hits that three-point basket. Easy to see why she's been one of the main scorers for the Scots this year. She has 10 now. No one else on the team with more than 7. That one missed from Traversa. She hasn't been able to hit from 3. Whenever she goes up, I mean, you just got to be ready for fireworks. I remember this year, the first time watching her, I think she made, I can't remember how many it was, but she broke Brittany Berry's three-point record.
Eight of them.
8 of them in one game, and I was broadcasting that game, and I just sitting here looking at who is this girl? I mean, she just couldn't miss. It was unbelievable. And now, whenever I see her go up and I see her miss, I get disappointed. I say she's got to make every single one. Launch from the top of the key, and that one goes. It's about time she hit one.
I mean, a lot of times people believe in the broadcasting curse. The minute you speak about a no-hitter, somebody line drive a base hit up the middle. How about that? I think we erased a curse there, a little positive voodoo. Talk about Mandy, and there she goes, buries a 3 from the top. I mean, that was... Hey, good for you. You get the hockey assist there.
It makes me feel good about myself. So many times you have that jinx. I mean, I'm never going to break up a no-hitter. I mean, I guess I have to for the integrity of broadcasting a baseball game. But, finally bring it up. She was 0 for 2, nails that one 1 for 3. 33% is just embarrassing for Traversa, though. She's got to hit 2 or 3 more to get back up to her season mark.
Right. we don't believe in any of those broadcasting shenanigans. It's all fun and games up here.
It's made up by the media.
Yep.
Wait a minute, we're the media.
Wait a sec.
A little update from the men's side. Hope with a tight game in the first half. 5 minutes into the second half, starting to pull away from Adrian, 42-29 the lead. Again, Hope taking a 13-point lead into the last 15 minutes of their game. Hope needing that win to stay in contention. Saturday going up against trying to beat Hope and Calvin both already this season early on. They're the big story in the men's side of the MIAA so far this year. As much as you love to see Hope and Calvin dominating the great rivalry, it's great to see a little bit more disparity in the league. On the men's side, or the women's side still being dominated by Hope and Calvin this year. But trying, it's exciting. It's good for the league to see a team that's competing, and they've got some talent down there. They can shoot the basketball, but the real story, I tell you what, their defense, they held Jordan Brink to a season low. Don't quote me, but something like 7 points or so. Guy who's averaging almost 20 a game, and we saw what he did against Hope. That dude will take a shot, and you'll say, what are you doing? And he hits it, and you say, oh, he's just that good. Lead is 25 for Hope. The exception of a couple threes from Paget. Alma just hasn't really gotten much going in this half. Trying to patiently wait to work the ball inside, and a charge drawn there from Sudbury as Paget sort of took it hard there. I don't know necessarily about that, but we're going to take the charge call. I'm not sure if she extended the forearm down there or not. But
back to those football comments, I mean, she just kind of lowered her shoulder, gave a stiff arm, shrugged it off.
But Sudbury not nearly squared up. It looks like when you lower the shoulder, maybe extend a little forearm shiver, you're going to get the offensive foul called more times than not. Smith into the game for the Dutch. We'll see if she keeps up the defensive pressure. Really, it's not just her. Everyone in this half especially has turned it up defensively. Maybe that was one of the points of emphasis at halftime. Sudbury with a nice look off to go to the lane there. Got the defender coming in to help to bounce back out to the open shooter. The regular play is the kick there, what most people do, and she just bounced it right to the bucket, able to finish nicely there. Jump shot passed up in the corner by Green. She kicks it back out. Paget and back out to Green now. Nice move to get inside, but just sort of forced that shot that wasn't there. Great offensive rebound underneath and able to go up and finish is Brianna Uroke. It's been a while since she's been on the board. She's got 4 points now on the day. Smith from the wing. See if Gears puts up a three. She doesn't. Gears not a player that shoots the ball a lot. Traversa now long off the iron. You know, Gears, a young player. Good to see someone like that getting in some playing time as a freshman. She looks like she's out there, knows her role, plays good defense, really doesn't take a lot of shots, and just a great addition to the team. And you lose a lot of seniors after this year for the Dutch. It's good to see some youth coming in and getting some experience. Pruitt going to launch now again with the left hand, and I mean no offense when I say her shot isn't exactly the picturesque shot. As Gears goes up and misses that one. Offensive rebound by Traversa, puts it up and makes it. She just looks like she's shoveling it up there a little bit with the left hand, and that one nowhere close. The 2 threes I've seen her take have been quite a bit off the mark, but she's one of the leaders of this team, a good scorer, good guard. Traversa now to the line here. It's her first free throw attempt of the game, and she's able to sink it.
You're Alma, and you look at the scoreboard right now. I mean, again, plenty of time left, but you're going to have to find ways to score it. You got, just one player at Paget in double digits. And at this point, I think if you're Coach Johnson, you got to look at your girls, maybe call a timeout here and say, forget about the scoreboard. It's all about, you got to find a way to work hard and improve. And that means this half, let's cut down the turnovers. Let's shoot a better percentage because, success isn't measured totally by, wins and losses in this situation. When you're this badly, when you're outmatched, it's hard to compete fully, especially on the road. So I think that Alma has a lot of ways they can have moral victories here, and at least mental battles come complete.
Yeah, a lot of little victories within the game. You never know how your team can improve, and maybe this year's not your year, and even though it's not over, nearly impossible for the Scots to come up with a conference title. Smith, a nice spin move, able to launch that one up in the middle of the paint and put it in. But like you said, you cut down on some turnovers this half. That's probably a point of emphasis for them, and you get a little more consistency on offense. You never know how your team can improve. And they've got some youth on the team. They've got a lot of sophomores that play, some juniors, freshmen, only a couple seniors that play, Wheeler being the main one. The only other senior on the team being Pruitt. You got to just keep growing as a team, and hopefully next year, maybe the year after, you can finally put something solid together. LaRue into the game now, as well as Schwark, the senior and the freshman. Working it inside for Schwark, and she goes up with the right hand, can't finish. Schwark, the 6'1 freshman, hasn't seen a lot of playing time, but has been in the game in a few of these situations. Some of you might call garbage minutes, but when there's still 10.5 minutes to go, game's never over. Good to see her get some experience. 6'1", I'll tell you what, that's going to, she keeps developing. She's going to have some success down there, the freshman from Forest Hills.
And she's coming in at a good time, really. As a freshman, you'd love to get playing time, but when you look at Hope's roster, you have Lawrence as a senior, Hannah Dole as a senior, and Klauka as a senior as well. So they'll return McAfee next year, but there's a void that's going to have to be filled there. At 6'1", why not her?
And I mentioned Schwartz from Forest Hills. She's actually from Fraser. That is my mistake. LaRue commanded the offense, the senior. Out to Gears. Slowing it down a little bit, working it, trying to find something inside here, maybe set a little screen or something, try and work something. They're just a little bit stagnant right now. Not a whole lot of movement going on for the offense. Gears goes up with it, but is called with a travel. Substitution now for Alma. Morgan Henry, the senior, coming into the game. Pruitt trying to work up top along with Wheeler to see what they can get going offensively. Absolutely no one in the paint for the Scots, and nice drive all the way in with the right hand. Not able to finish was Wheeler. When you're down so big like that, it just, as Smith draws the foul, it's just like, adding one more thing on top of it all starts to pile up. You miss open layups like that. It's like you talk about, you got to improve. When you're in a key game, you can't be missing the shots like that. Someone as experienced as Wheeler, the senior guard, and as good of a player as she is, I'm sure she's thinking the same thing. She can't miss too many of those.
Yeah.
As Smith is able to hit the first from the line.
I'm really excited to see, in the years to come, Tyra Smith, the sophomore, and you see her run the floor like that, all sorts of defensive pressure, defensive energy. I mean, she's coming down the sideline like a jet right there. I mean, it's incredible, her speed and the way she's able to just get down the floor and tear it up. She's going to be something special, at least from coast to coast, for Hope College in the years to come.
Pruitt with a nice little bank shot with the left hand there. High off the glass, got that one to stick. Smith, nobody picking her up with a wide open three from the wing. Just can't quite get that one to go, and now Wheeler bringing it up the floor, trying to push it a little bit. Kicks it back out, open three, look passed up and a drive instead. Nice kick outside, and the baseline jumper from Uroke is good. Alma getting on the board. Lead is 23 points for the Dutch. Working inside for Schwark here. I'd like to see her get some work. I'm interested to see after, how she'll be able to come in and impact this team.
Close.
A couple good looks, just haven't quite been able to get them to go, but that size is going to be tough to defend. Lauren's a senior and McAfee a junior. 2 years from now, it's going to be interesting to see, how Schwark's going to come in and, as a foul drawn here, come in and be that upperclassman post player. I mean, everybody does it. And it's just sort of a tribute to Coach Morehouse's recruiting and the rest of their coaches' recruiting. They can just keep bringing in these girls with size. It seems like every single class just has one of these great bigs down there, and they just keep rebuilding. As that first free throw will go there for Abby Phillipson. Substitution here, Allie Garcia coming in, the freshman. Another girl that doesn't see a whole lot of playing time. Couple freshmen in the game now for the Dutch. We'll see how the guard from Bloomfield Hills fits into this game. Hitting both from the line is Phillipson. LaRue taking this one all the way down and kicking it back out. Not a whole lot in the paint here. Sitting at the free throw line is Schwark, but they're really working outside right now. Lobbed all the way over for LaRue there. Garcia taking it baseline and swinging out for Garcia. She's barely able to keep that one in. Shot clock running down. LaRue trying to take it all the way inside, and ditch effort to get it up is no good. Can't hit the rim, and that's going to be a turnover on the shot clock violation for the Dutch. Berry into the game now. Let's see if she decides to take a couple shots here. Her team up big, 21 points to lead, and we'll see if she keeps firing or if she's just here to facilitate the offense a little bit. Having a heck of a game so far, not only scoring 10 points, but 7 assists. Pretty impressive numbers so far. Let's see if she can get up to a double-double. Usually the double-double being points and rebounds. 10 assists to go along with 10 points. Pretty impressive.
You almost feel bad, a little guilty, some of the way the last couple of her passes have been without using her vision at all. She should get maybe an assist and a half, 2 assists maybe.
Unbelievable. LaRue can't quite get that one to go, and Wheeler slowing it down now around half court. Team catching up. They're going to try and set something up here offensively. Hope defense has just been on them. Nice defense to come over from Schwark there, but able to get inside and finish is Yarok. And nice defensive help side there, but she set up a little too early and not able to keep her body in front. Get an experienced player like Yarok, who's one of the leading scorers for the Scots, just goes right by her, gets the bucket. Lead now under 20 for the first time in a little while. Nice move all the way inside there for Garcia, but she could not get that one to go. She did everything right, but get it to go down. That one touched just about every part of the rim. Steal attempt inside by Garcia, but she's going to be called for the foul, it looks like, with the reach in.
I think what Coach Morehouse is doing here, you see, four players, reserves out on the court right now. And just to kind of keep the game under control, again, at this point with a 19-point lead, I think you put Barry out there, the senior. LaRue's also senior, but you put Barry out there, the experienced senior, just to kind of say, hey, don't let things get out of control. It's time to be mentored a little bit. A couple of freshmen out there, let them learn this way. And rather than having them go in there with a game that's somewhat out of reach, 6.5 to play, still doable, but you want to have them on a short enough leash where they're going out there and they're learning. And they're not just playing garbage minutes, but they're playing minutes where they can come in, they can learn, and they know what to do. I just think that's very valuable to have seniors have such depth. like what they're doing right now, I think that's why Barry's in, to be honest.
And Paris Madison checking into the game for LaRue now. Barry, almost a mom-like figure out there for those girls right now, and it's just like you said, she can help command that offense. And what a great experience for these young players to get some quality minutes with a player like Barry. Really, like you said, she's led the nation. She's been up there in the nation as far as three-point percentage goes. One of the better players in the country as a senior that we've seen in Division III basketball in the past few years. It's a great experience from these girls out there right now, just loaded with freshmen out there alongside Barry. We'll see how Barry, like I said, she's going to take some shots, but I'd be a little more surprised there. I think she's going to try and get that assist number up here. I would be surprised if she wasn't trying to work a couple points for her freshman counterparts here. That one inside, and Barry comes up with a steal right off the bat. Paris Madison going to bring it up the floor now into the game. The sophomore getting some minutes here, 6 minutes or so to go in this game. Hope with a 19-point lead. Barry out on the wing. Hasn't touched the ball much that she's been in. Nice feed inside for Schwartz, able to finish with the foul, and there it is. A nice pass there from Heather Randall to get it inside. Freshman, sophomore in there, as well as Barry, and they still look good out there.
Schwartz been waiting for that moment. That's her third look down low. I mean, and the ball was halfway down before it came out last possession. She makes good of the free throw, completing the three-point play. She waited a while for that. I'm happy to see her get the bucket and let that thing go down as Hope extends the lead. It's at 22 with 6 and 1 second to go.
Out from the wing, Zink here has a wide open shot. Can't get that to go. Barry tried to rebound. Over the back there was Abby Phillipson. She couldn't come up with the rebound. Out of bounds to Hope. Let me ask you something, Casey. You see all these young players that don't get much playing time with Barry. Alma still with some of their key players, their starters out there. And right now, Hope, as Madison takes it to the bucket with the left hand, still dominating this game with some of their players that see the court the least.
Yeah.
I mean, just what does that tell you about just the where the talent is in the MIAA? I mean, it's just, you start to see a little bit more parity with the men's side, but on the women's side, is it still just Hope Calvin absolutely dominating? Everyone else is just competing for the scraps of the state of Michigan, really, at the D3 level?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can go as far as looking at a lot of the venues that these teams are playing at. Hope and Calvin have very generous donors, and you get a beautiful facility like this. I mean, who in the world wouldn't want to come here? You have, a lot of times you have Division II, NAIA talent sinking down to the Division III level to see what you can be a part of. Obviously, I mean, at the Division III level, your game you reach the pinnacle come your senior year, as it's very rare to go to Europe or to anything higher than that. And so, I mean, you come here, you're a part of something big, you're a part of a contender, and I think that's where Hope and Calvin can really run away with recruits and people coming to play for them. But I think also when you take a look at what's been happening the last 3 or 4 minutes, it's no surprise to me that Hope still has the upper hand. And the reason being is because these girls, these reserves, are coming in and day out. They're competing in practice for 2 hours against this heavy loaded lineup. I mean, Paris Madison has to go up against players, like Gears, like Anderson, like Barry, Angelique Gaddy too, when she's healthy. And you can only expect her to get better from those experiments, the little fish in the big pond, so to speak. So it's no mystery to me why their talent level, even at such depths of 3rd and 4th string, it's no mystery to me.
Into the game for the Dutch, Mary Gibson, the sophomore. LaRue with a nice drive inside, kicks it out to an open Madison.
And there it is. I mean, you just see the plethora of talent that Hope College has, loaded from top to bottom. Paris Madison, a girl who comes in, runs the fast break offense well, and she's ready to get up and get out on the break, and then she is able to slow it down. Corner shot, again, that plethora of talent from 1 to 17 on this roster.
Yeah, Madison comes into the game for a couple minutes now. Someone who hardly sees the floor, 2 for 2 with 4 points, got a rebound, playing very great defense. And it's just so hard to believe a player like that doesn't get much playing time, but that just shows you the talent pool that Hope has to work with. Starting to run out of room on the stat sheet here for all the girls that they've had in this game. Looks like everybody's got the warm-up suit off. Everybody's been in the game so far today.
Yep. That's fun. It's a learning experience.
The 3 launched up there by Pruitt. That one doesn't go. It's just tough when you're an experienced player like Pruitt. You're your team struggling so much, you look and she's 0 for 3 from the three-point line today, but you got to generate offense from somewhere, and when you're a leader like that, you got to just command it sometimes, and maybe they haven't gone for you, but that's just kind of the way this game's been going. Three-point attempt out from the wing. No good there. Mary Gibson tried launching that one up. Shot fake and taken inside, able to draw the foul, can't quite finish, and down with her hands on her knees is Zink, and I think just to say, man, that's kind of the kind of night it's been. Can't quite get that one to go. One little bright spot offensively for the Scots has been Zink at the free throw line, 5 of 6 so far today. But then you look at the rest of the shots, 1 for 12 from the field, and it's like I said earlier, if they were able to get the line more, perhaps they could have had a little bit more success. As she's now 6 of 7 from the free throw line, and Alma as a team only missed 1, 9 of 10 on the day.
Second one for her, rattles home. If you look, Maura McAfee, we haven't said her name a ton tonight as she's been able to get a good amount of rest. She's still up on top of the scoring chart with 16 points, but she was named MIAA Women's Basketball Player of the Week on Monday as a three-pointer goes for Hope College. She averaged 22 points and 15.5 rebounds, 2.5 blocks in Hope's 2 victories last week. That's what we talked about, the 26 and 16, 18 and 15 in back-to-back games. It's just a monster performance. It's no wonder why she was named Player of the Week.
Zink working hard, getting off a miss, getting offensive rebound, putting up a bucket here, and it's good to see Alma still fighting. Like I said, with under 3 minutes to go, you mentioned earlier just the little battles. That speaks a lot about a team if they never give up. It's very easy to get down and get out of a game when you're down by 26 points and then put up a bucket, cut down to 24 now, and you just hope to see from Alma maybe a couple buckets. Try and cut this one down to 20 points. Rebounded there by Alma, and they're pushing back. Dangerous situation here for Alma. Nice effort there. Mary Gibson tried coming up with a steal from behind. Zink bringing it up the floor, working down in the paint. She's kind of doing it all for the Scots. Zink working hard, but into a double team. Able to kick that one out. Baseline drive here and just blocked away again, but another offensive rebound. Couldn't get it to go. Alma with another chance here. Like we mentioned, those rebounds might hurt Hope if they start getting into some tougher competition. Currently being out-rebounded 44-36, which is just absolutely amazing with a team being up by 24 points. I mean, to be out-rebounded like that, yeah, pretty hard to believe.
Well, the other thing that's somewhat startling, removing the score here, is that Hope's 4 of 21 from 3. That's 3 of their last 4 games they've shot under 30% for 3. And this is a team who doesn't need to rely on the three-point shot, but they have girls who can light it up from there. And that's where you talk about the ceiling. What is the ceiling for this Hope team? You talked about a healthy Angelique Gaddy, and maybe it's a national championship. And I'm not so sure that they're eliminated from contention of a national championship just yet, as they're really, they hold an impressive record at 16-2, going to be maybe 17-2 at this rate. But I would love to see what this team looks like when Barry's hitting threes, when Traverse is hitting threes. Heaven forbid they're both hitting threes. You have McAfee, the walking double-double, such depth. I think that this team has a ceiling that they have not sniffed yet. I think 80 points, 90 points is surmountable. I would just love to see them put it all together. And it's not, it's not most important to be playing your best basketball in late January. That's where you look. Late February, early March is when you want to be playing your best basketball. So room for improvement is always a good thing. I would just love to see where this team is a month from now.
LaRue can't quite get that shot from the wing to go. And Casey, it's almost scary to think about it. Can you imagine a game where Barry and where Traversa both have 4 or 5 threes in a game, and where McAfee and Lawrence are both working inside that well, and Anderson is working the ball nicely into teammates. Barry's got 5 or 6 assists. It's
plus
just
you rebound well.
Yeah, heaven forbid they don't get out rebounded. There's no reason they can't score 95 points in a game with that kind of talent.
A nice layup scoop shot by Pruitt. It's good, and the foul. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And we saw glimpses of that against Calvin as they rebounded well. They were ahead on the rebounding battle for a while and ended up losing that one. But I remember last year, the Hope Calvin game, I watched Brittany Berry hit what seemed like 11 or 12 threes in a stadium that was totally full. It was just rocking here. You felt like with each three, maybe the roof was going to cave in. And I want to get to that point, and I think she obviously does too. And it's going to be a special thing when Hope College gets there.
Nice steal there going the other way. Nice little left-handed layup there. That basket is good from Caitlin Kendall, the sophomore. Didn't see a ton of playing time today, but good to see her get in there. And like I mentioned, good to see Alma still fighting this game. They've cut the lead down within 20, and only 18 points to lead here, and that's just good to see a team keeping going. And hopefully Coach Johnson's able to bring that up and say, you know what, we didn't quit out there. We did well. LaRue takes it inside. She draws the block. She'll go to the line here.
Yeah, if you look, I mean, going into the half down 18, I mean, this half, the score is knotted up. It's 31 apiece in this half with, I mean, the last possession here to come probably for Alma. If you're Coach Johnson, we talked about improvement. We talked about taking it, one half at a time, and I think you can just about, I mean, chalk this half up as a near win for Alma, whether if you're outscoring your opponent or not. Obviously, the scoreboard's going to say otherwise, but it's the little things. And when you're a team who is young, a little inexperienced, and has not quite the loaded lineup as a top-tier Hope or Calvin does, I don't think you can be frustrated with this performance. They've shown that, I mean, again, if you don't turn the ball over 27 times, who in the world knows what happens and what this game looks like?
Another one of those little battles. You mentioned this, maybe improving on turnovers. 19 turnovers in the first half, only 8 in this half. They've cut it down. I'm afraid I might have jinxed them for this last possession here. Almost a takeaway right there.
Good one.
And boom, there we go, as soon as I say it. But still now only with 9 turnovers compared to 19. There's improvement, not to say 9 turnovers in half and is exactly a goal they aim for, but improvement is always good. And with a 19-point lead, Barris Madison's going to be able to dribble this one out for the Dutch. And that'll do it here from DeVos Fieldhouse. The Hope College Flying Dutch defeat the Alma Scots 72-53. Hope with that win, now improving to 9-1 in league play. Still just sitting there with 1 loss, following behind Calvin. Got to work on those rebounds a little bit, Case. Work on the turnovers a little bit. Other than that, pretty solid game overall. Anytime you got to get some experience into the game, some young girls that don't play often, about half of the second half there, it's a good day, I'd say.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, I'm Blaine Wiersbicki alongside Casey Rutledge. It's been fun having you guys again. So long, and we'll see you next time.